Hello there, everybody, and welcome to a Yarnspirations Lunch and Learn. My name is MarlyBird, and I will be your teacher today for this really cute maple leaf crochet dishcloth pattern. Now, I've put a link to the pattern in the video description box right down there below, so you can click on that. And when you do, you will be taken to the pattern we will be following along with today. This is the Bernat Maple Leaf Crochet Dishcloth pattern. And you'll notice right here, there's a big button. It says download free pattern. Yes, this is free. So you're simply going to click that button. It will open up the page for you to have the download available, and all you can do, you can save it to your computer or to your device, or you can print it to follow along. This is a 2-page pattern. It includes words and charts, charted symbols, so that you can follow along with either one you wish. So that's where you're going to find the free pattern. I also want to mention in the video description, you'll see a link to the Autumn Home Decor collection. This is a knit and crochet roundup of patterns that are free over at yarnspirations.com. And when you click it, you'll see there is a plethora of patterns that are ripe for you to work up for your holiday decor or autumn decor. Some really cute items here for you to check out. This maple leaf dishcloth is actually one of those items, so you can check all of that out at your leisure. But hey, everybody, it's so nice to have you here. If you're joining me on the Yarnspirations Facebook page or the MarlyBird Facebook page or the MarlyBird YouTube channel, we are so happy you're here. Make sure you smash that like button. Leave us a comment on where you're joining us from. And have you ever made a dishcloth before? Is this something that you normally make? Maybe you knit them, maybe you crochet them, or maybe this is the first time you've ever done a dishcloth. I'd like to know that. Something special about this particular dishcloth is that we are going to use crochet short rows. And don't let that be really confusing to you or intimidate you. All that really means is we're going to work each subsequent row. We're either going to have to, chain some stitches and then leave some stitches unworked as we turn and continue back. And so we're literally shortening the rows as we work along, and you'll see how it goes as we work, but it is not something that is super confusing. Hopefully I'll be able to help you out the best I can with this. So many people here that I recognize your faces. I'm so happy you're here. Just a shout out to those of you who might be in the affected areas of Hurricane Helene. We definitely are hoping everything's all right with you, and really we're here for you as much as we possibly can be. I know for me personally, I know thoughts and prayers is just a kind of a taboo thing to say anymore, but really I've been thinking about you guys, and I really hope you're all right. Okay, so having said all that, let's go ahead and let's jump in to this pattern. I want to make sure that we have some time to really work along with this pattern, because it's going to take a little bit of time to get through the first bit. And it's really as you go to the second bit that I think people can be confused. So I want to jump to that if you're ready to go. So we're going to go down here to my hands. And I just want to confirm here really quickly, you guys can still hear my voice as we're getting ready to go along. And remember, this is on a delay. So if I'm not responding right away, or you're not responding right away, it's because they are delayed. Hello, Angie. How are you? Hi, Donna. So many of you here. That's so great. Hi, Lydia. Okay, you guys, the Bernat Maple Leaf Crochet Dishcloth. This dishcloth starts us off. We're going to work on the stem, and not the stem. I'm sorry. Hold on. We are going to work on the stem. We work on the stem, and we're going to work up one side of our chains and then come around and work down the opposite side of our chains, which if you've never done that before, it can be a little bit tricky. So we're going to work through that. After you do that, what we will do is we will work 10 rows pretty evenly here. They're all the same, but you're going to notice that we're not going to go all the way down to the end of the previous row. So we're going to be working short rows. You can follow along with the charted instructions or the written instructions, totally your choice. You can grab some Bernat Handicrafter cotton or whatever cotton that you might have laying around. I know that Yarnspirations has a lot of different cottons out in the world. And then the suggested size is a US size H or 8 or 5 millimeter crochet hook. You can use whatever size crochet hook works best with the yarn you're using. So let that just be your guide. All right, so I'm going to kind of tuck this aside over here and we're going to jump in. I'm going to grab my cotton yarn here and an H crochet hook, and we will begin. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Yeah, we're going to begin with our slip knot. So go ahead and put your slip knot directly on your hook and we will chain 15. So as you're doing these, make sure you're not doing them too tight because as I mentioned, we will be working on both sides of this chain. So we want to make sure that we can get into the front or back loop on either side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, oops, 13, 14, 15. All right, so we've chained 15. We're going to do a single crochet in the second chain from hook and in each chain all the way down to the last one. So remember, you never count the loop on your hook as a stitch or a chain or anything. So you don't count that. So this is the first chain from hook. Here's the second chain from hook. For this particular piece, I'm only going to go into that back loop as I work into this chain. So I'm going to work into the back loop. The reason I'm going to do that is that's going to leave that loop free as I come back around, and it's going to be easier for me to get into it. All right, so there's 1, 2, and again, I'm working single crochets. I'm just working down all of these chains that I have going on here. 3, 4, 5, 6. My cotton doesn't want to work with me today. It doesn't want to go around my hook. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So here's down to the last one. In this last one, I'm going to put a single crochet, chain 4, and then I'm not turning, I'm rotating, so that way I'm going over here to the opposite side, and I'm going to pick up that loop that I told you I was going to leave free. So I'm going to go into that loop. I don't know if you guys can you guys see what I'm saying here? So I've worked on this side, so I'm coming over here to this free loop of that same chain stitch, and I'm going to put my single crochet over there. Now, working down along the opposite side of my chains here, so this is the opposite side of my chains, I'm going to single crochet into each chain, which gives me 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, I know this feels like it's slow going. 10, 11, 12, and 13. We're back to our beginning point. All right. So this is what you have so far. We have a nice little stem. Now we're going to be working in the back loops only for each single crochet and chain 1 space throughout. Okay. So as we move on, we're only going to be working into those back loops. Okay. So here we are. We're going to turn our work. Row 2 through 10 are all done the exact same manner. So let's try and get through them as best we can. And we'll see if I can get through as many as I can, so that way I can get you guys to row 11, because I think that's where things get a little bit confusing. So we turn and we chain one. It says skip the first single crochet. So we're going to skip this first one, working in the back loop only, 1 single crochet in each single crochet to the next chain 4 space. So we skip this first one here. We go to the second. Okay, you see I'm going through the back loop of the second one, and I will single crochet. And I'll work the single crochets all the way up to the chain 4. Like I said, my yarn doesn't want to cooperate with me. I've been using a lot of really nice acrylic yarn lately. And I think that when you go from working with a wool or an alpaca or an acrylic or a cotton, your hook in your hands, there's something about the way you tension your yarn and the hook that they have to kind of get into a rhythm. And obviously mine is not too rhythmic right now. All right, so I'm to my chain 4. In this chain 4, I'm going to put 2 single crochets, chain 4, and 2 single crochets. So I will do 1 and 2. Notice I'm not working through an actual chain. And then I'll chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'll do 2 more into this chain space, I should say. 1. Hi, Dawn. And 2. I love it when you guys pop on here and you're like, hey, when I look up, I love it because I see like little messages that say, hey, Marley. That just makes me feel really good. Julia, you're absolutely right. This is a very good stash buster pattern for different yarns. Okay, so I've done all of that into that chain 4 space. Now I'll single crochet in each single crochet to the last 3. So I'm going to work, remember, working in the back loop only. So I'm going to single crochet to the last 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I'm counting because it doesn't give me a stitch count to work with. It just says to go down to the last 3 single crochets. And that's at the point we're going to do our short row. We're going to just simply turn our work. We don't complete all of the stitches on this row. I think I just went through some of that yarn. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, right? So 1 stitch, 2 stitch, 3 stitch. So this would be my last stitch right there. And then turn. So I simply turn. I leave all of that unworked. Okay? All of that unworked. Turn my work. Chain 1, skip the first one, work into the back loop all the way up to the chain 4 space again. So we're going to do that. I picked this bright pink color for the maple leaf, hoping that you guys would be able to see it on camera fairly well. Hopefully that is the case. I thought that it looked good against the blue crochet hook, which is a Susan Bates crochet hook. It just has a different handle on it. Because I crochet so much, I need hooks that have a very large handle. Otherwise my hands cramp up really bad. So I like to use hooks with handles on them, but I do prefer a Susan Bates hook. All right, so I'm up here to the chain 4, right? So we're going to do the 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2, then chain 4, and then 2. 1 and 2. And then we go right back to working in the back loop only, and we'll work these all the way down to the last 3 stitches. Let's get through this row and maybe one more row. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump ahead to row 11. Actually, if I get down to the let's see, this is row 3, and then 4. Yeah, and then I'll jump to row 11 because that'll be an odd number row. And I'll be able to show you how you would continue on. Because I think once you, I mean, we're doing the same pattern here, right? That's exactly what the instructions say to do for rows 2 through 10. So we're all doing the same. So we have right here the chain 1, 1, 2, 3. So I've went to the last 3 and I'm going to turn. So I'm going to do this row one more time. You skip the first one, go to the second one. So this would be a row 4. Hello, Annette from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hi, Sandra. Do you skip a chain each time? So the chain does not count as a stitch. So we are skipping the single crochet, not a chain. So the chain does not count as a stitch, Sandra, if that helps. Oh, yes, that's a great idea, Lindsay. Lindsay says that she loves the look of this. Would you be able to use an acrylic yarn and make garland out of it? Absolutely. Absolutely could. Especially maybe you're a hockey fan, you wanna make like a Maple Leafs, hockey team kind of bunting. That would be really cool. Yeah, you could absolutely use this for that purpose. All right. Did I chain 4? No, I just like one. I was like, "That doesn't look right." What is that? I guess I chained 2. What the heck? 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. And then jump over here. There, that looks better. And then make sure you're still going into the back loop only. Sandra, yes, the single crochet for rows 2 through 10, you skip that first single crochet each time. So each row is exactly the same. You're just working down to the last 3 stitches. So we are increasing our stitch count because we're putting, a total of 4 stitches up here. So if we skip one down here and then put an extra one up here, so we're increasing 2 stitches each row when you're working rows 2 through 10. Let's see here. Like I said, this would be a row 4. So when I turn, I would be working a row 5, but I'm going to jump to a row 11 since that's also an odd number row. And we're going to see how you would work row 11 once you got past row 10. Okay. So that way you guys can see how to continue working with this pattern because I don't want to run out of time. Oop, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I don't want to run out of time and have you guys miss that part. But you can see here already that it's really starting to get some nice shape to it. And so when I turn my work, it's the same thing here. All right. So again, I am going to jump to row 11 at this point. So that way you guys can clearly do this pattern because we've just worked through, 2, 3, and 4, and that's the same all the way up to 10. But when we get to 11, we start to do something different. So I want to make sure you know how to do that. So let's jump to row 11 and work through some of those rows so that you can absolutely see how this is going. All right, so let's go back here. Hi, Sandy. It's nice to see you here. All right, so if we are on row 11, this is be row 11. So if you can see here, I'm jumping down here to the instructions right here. Or if you're looking over here on your chart, we're looking at this section right up here. So we've just, worked up through row 5 on here, but I'm going to jump to this part of the pattern. Okay, so row 11, you start off by chaining 5. All right, so we turned our work, we're chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now single crochet in the second chain from hook and in each of the next 3 chains. Remember, you never count the loop on your hook as a chain. So there's the first loop or first chain. Here's the second. I'm going to go into the back loop of it just to keep it consistent. So there's 1 and then the next 3 chains. So here is 1 and 2 and 3. Okay. All right, so we did that. Now we're going to jump back into our pattern right here. So it says single crochet in each of the next 5 single crochets. So Sandra, right here, we're no longer skipping that first single crochet, all right? So right here, we're going to go into the back loop only still. We're going to work into 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now it says to chain 1, skip the next single crochet, and 1 single crochet in the next single crochet. So we chained 1, skip that, come up here, and we're going to single crochet up here. Okay? You guys with me there? And then we're going to turn. I'm going to give you a little tip here. As you're working these short rows, you will be skipping the 1 stitch after. So you have this one. When we come back to this side with the next, portion of the leaf, you will actually get to your last stitch here. We will skip this one and we'll be working into that one. So if you wanted to put a marker there just to help you out, you absolutely could. Same thing, we would skip this one and go into this one. So if you wanted to put a marker there, you could do that. All right, just to kind of give you help, because sometimes you might lose the fact that that's the one you're skipping and you could get a little bit confused. So let's put those there and see if that helps us out. Okay, so we're here now. We're going to turn. We leave all of this, we leave those unworked. Okay, we'll join those as we go along. Okay, the 12th row, chain 1, single crochet in the first single crochet. So again, Sandra, we're single crocheting in the first single crochet here, and we're still working in the back loop only. Single crochet in the first single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in the next chain 1 space. So here's the chain 1 space. So I'm going to single crochet there. And then single crochet in each single crochet to the end. So I'm going to go into the back loop only and go all the way to the end of this. Everybody with me so far? All right, so that's the end of row 12. So we go to row 13. So we turn our work. Again, we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Single crochet in the second chain from hook. Skip the first one. Here's the second. So we're going to single crochet there. And then single crochet in the next 3. Single crochet in each single crochet to the end of the row. So now working in the back loop only still, we're going to put a single crochet in each one of these. Get some more yarn. All right, so we're to the end of the row, chain 1. This is where I was telling you, you're going to skip this one down here, right? It says on row 10, but we stopped on row 4. So you're going to skip this one, and into this one, you're going to single crochet in the next single crochet of the 10th row. So it's the one we marked. So I'm going to single crochet in there. See what I mean? And then turn. So 14 and 15 are the same as row 12 and 13. So we go back to row 12 where we chain 1, single crochet in the first single crochet right here, single crochet in the chain 1 space, and then single crochet, again, all of these in the back loop only, of each of these all the way to the end of the row. You guys see how this is starting to take shape here? When I get to the end of the row, we're going to take a peek at this. All right, so we're to the end of the row. And then when we would turn this row, we would chain 5 again. And so you keep increasing. Can you see this? We're getting all of the leaves starting to go out. All right, so you would keep working back and forth for 14 and 15. On 16, so if you're working back and forth 16, again, single crochet in the first single crochet, single crochet the chain 1 space, single crochet to the end. So 16, it seems like it's the same as 12, right? 16 seems the same as 12. And then you continue on 16 and 17, same as 16th. Oh no, 16, it changes. We're no longer increasing on 16. Haha, I caught myself. See, this is why I had to look over here. 16, we go to the last 3 single crochets. So we're starting to work our way back again to where we don't go all the way to the end. So you can see right here, hopefully you can see right here. So when you get to the end of 15, we've increased 1 more. And then when we come down here to 16, as we come back, we leave 3 of those stitches unworked, just like what we did down here. So we create the shape. So right here, we're getting it longer, and then we're going to come back and make it shorter again so that we get this maple leaf shape. Does that make sense? Here, let's go ahead and work through 15, and then we can do 16 together. I think I have enough time to just pop through those with you. If that is all right. How you guys feeling so far? Feeling all right? Feeling like this is something that you could accomplish? I told you not to be too worried about the short rows. They're really not too difficult. And they're a way for you to be able to shape all of your work, which is great. Really easily shape your work. Again, don't forget to work just through the back loop only. That's what allows you to have all these really nice ridges. So we're going to get down to the end of 15. And then I'm going to walk you guys through 16. And at that point, I feel like you'd be well on your way to get going. All right. Remember down here, you get to that end, then you're going to chain 1. This is where we would skip this and come to this one, and we would do a single crochet into the back loop only of that stitch. That's what joins it right there. And then we would turn our work. So this is row 16. So row 16 has us chain 1, single crochet into that first single crochet into the chain 1 space, working in the back loop only, single crochet to the last 3 stitches. You're going to leave the last 3 stitches unworked. So we're not increasing. Oh, did you guys catch what I did? I just thought to myself, I didn't increase down here on 15. Like I should have increased on 15. I'm not going to rip it out. You guys know what is supposed to happen. I should have increased. I should have chained 5 and done my increase. Don't be like me. That's what happens when I just don't pay attention, and then I have to go back and rip out. I'm not going to rip it out right now because that would just waste more of your time, and I don't want to do that. But remember to chain your 5 down there and follow that pattern. But regardless, this is how you would do it. You would work down to the last 3 stitches, which would actually be further, but we're going to just assume it's right there because those are the 3 stitches. And then you would turn and continue on. So this would be a little bit longer, obviously, but this is what's happening is you're starting to, you know, make this wedge, make that wedge. If you look on here, make the wedge. You see that? See how that works? So that's what you're doing with that. All right, so I'm guessing that you guys are pretty good with all of this at this point. There's nothing else super surprising with this. You would complete the entire right side of your leaf, and then you would go back and you're going to join your yarn, and then work the left side of the leaf. The very last thing is you will work that stem, and you just finish off your whole leaf. I feel like you could do this. I mean, everything that I just taught you is what you need to know to complete the entire pattern. And it's a lot of fun, and it's surprisingly bigger than what I thought it was. Like you can see, it's a pretty good size piece. So it's going to make a rather large dishcloth, larger than what I imagined it to be. Because I mean, remember, this is still only this. I only did like 5 rows, so it's a rather large dishcloth and something fun. If you are interested in doing anything like this, you have a plethora of colors to choose from over at yarnspirations.com. Don't forget that over here, not only can you look at this collection, again, this link is in the video description box down there below, but you can always go look at different free patterns here. You can look at Halloween patterns, like let's just click on crochet patterns for Halloween, free Halloween crochet patterns. So there is a lot to choose from over here. And if you have a particular yarn that you want to make something with a particular yarn, you can always go to their yarns also. Let's see here. Maybe you have a Bernat yarn. And so if you click on Bernat, you can actually come over here to product line if you wanted to. You could select the exact product line that it is, or maybe you have it over here and you can check it all out. I do want to mention I used this yarn for the Joanne Stitch Along, which starts next week. This yarn here is fabulous. It is a huge ball of yarn. Do I have it right here? I thought I had it. It is a huge ball of yarn, you guys, and it is so soft, so lovely to knit with and crochet with. You're absolutely going to love it. If you want to join us for the Joanne Stitch Along, I would love it if you would do that. I'll be sure to add a link to that in the video description box below as well. I have all the information you need over on my website, so you can check that out. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this Lunch and Learn. Go check out all of those free patterns over at yarnspirations.com, and I will talk to you again very soon, you guys. Bye.